Welcome to Created Healthy. I'm Dawn Combs. It's a common idea that God gave us everything we need in nature, but do we believe it enough to walk that out in truth? Often the very same people who say this go looking for answers on how to use food and medicine from man-made sources. Everything man creates comes with a user's manual. Why would God be any different? I challenge you to join me in seeking revelation about our body, mind, soul, and spirit health by digging into His written word and in practicing pure science in the visible world of His creation. Today I'm reading in Luke 19 through 21, and Jesus' time in His ministry is drawing near. He knows He's getting close to the end, and I am still focusing, I'm still seeing a huge message here about worrying. So let's talk about what's happening in these 3 chapters. Jesus is coming into Jerusalem. He's finally making his way there. We have Zacchaeus, the tax collector, who is a short, rich man. And I remember singing a song about Zacchaeus when I was a kid in Bible school. So we have the moment where he meets Zacchaeus, and he is having more conversations with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, who are trying very hard to catch him in what they believe to be blasphemy. Jesus' disciples are declaring who he is in public in what we know of as Palm Sunday, as Jesus enters Jerusalem on a donkey, and people put palms on the road in front of him as he enters, and they're calling out who he is and praising him. Much different than what is about to occur, of course. Jesus enters the temple, and again, I think we're seeing mirror here of what was going on with the earthly kings in 1st and 2nd Kings, where the king is anointed, and he comes in and he goes into the temple. Jesus actually enters the temple here and drives out people who are selling things in the temple. He is justifiably angry and throwing people out. And this gets referenced a lot in people talking about righteous anger and looking for passages in the Bible to support that. We get to Jesus. This is where Luke retells of Jesus telling the parable of the vineyard, and what happens when the vineyard owner sends representatives to those who are basically squatting on the land that he owns. And he sends, I think you should see, he sends teachers, he sends prophets, he eventually sends his son, and the squatters think that they're going to be able to take the inheritance, that they're going to be able to do what they wish with the land and be in control of it by killing the son. And Jesus is telling this as he is also telling his disciples that he will soon suffer and die at the hands of the chief elders and the religious leaders and all of the people that are squatting on the vineyard. But I want to come down to where Jesus starts to give the disciples information and us information about what will come. And some of the prophecy that he puts down is about him there in this iteration. So what will be happening to him in this bodily form, and how they will know that it's coming. And then he starts to talk about the next time he comes, and we tend to call these the end times. The idea I mentioned the other day about how we have become separated from understanding how nature works, how God's creation works. We've been so separated that we can't read the signs, whereas we were designed to be able to understand God through those signs and what God is working on the planet and what he's teaching us. And we've been disconnected from that. And he talks about how the Son of God will come back, and there will be signs in the sun and the moon, and he will come in a cloud, the Son of Man, which is something that I haven't really gone into, but Jesus calls himself the Son of Man as part of a prophecy. So this is him coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And this is how the remnant will know that their redemption is at hand. And he's laying all of this out. And what he says at the end here, just before we end today's reading, is to the remnant, be on guard. Don't get weighted down with the worries of life, and pray that you have the strength to escape all those things so that you can stand before the Son of Man. I want to go back to Luke 10 and a couple of women that I didn't have a chance to talk about, Martha and Mary. And Jesus visits Martha and Mary in Luke 10. And Martha is running around the entire time that Jesus is speaking and teaching. And Martha's running around because she sees this need to do things. There's so much that needs to properly be done here. And she's running around so much that she doesn't actually spend any time with Jesus. She's not listening to Jesus. She's not asking him what he wants done. She's doing what she thinks is right, based on what her culture has told her should be done. Meanwhile, her sister Mary has just let everything go. She's not worried about anybody thinking it's improper that she's not working or serving food or gathering water or the wine. She just sits because she is so in love with Jesus and so wants to hear everything that he says, catch every nuance, stare into his face, love on him, be with him. And Martha gets a little sore about this, and Jesus makes a point to say, look, you've been wandering around, you've been doing all this work, but you haven't spent any time with me. Leave Mary alone. She's doing exactly what she should be doing. Martha was worried about what she needed to accomplish to be good and to make Jesus comfortable and see her in a favorable light. In Luke 12, I did talk about this in another podcast, The Ravens, where he's instructing us that we are not supposed to be worried. We're not supposed to be focused on all of the things that here Jesus is saying again, weigh us down. In Luke 12, Jesus says God focuses on basically the ephemeral aspects of nature. If you think about some insects live and die in a matter of hours, and yet God has focused time and attention on the beautiful structure of their wings and how their bodies work and how they fit into the greater design of their environment and how they procreate and how they continue on the earth and what their purpose is. But they only live hours. So if God will focus so much time and love and design on something so ephemeral, how much more, he says, will he clothe and feed you? Here he is saying in the last of this reading for today, you need to pray big. Pray big that you have the strength to escape all of these things that you think are important. The temptations of getting busy. The temptations of doing what you believe in yourself is right, or what the church has told you is right. Your job is to be looking for Jesus' face, looking toward God, listening to God, speaking to him in your heart, asking him what you need to be busy about every day. Jesus is saying here, don't let these worries, we're not designed to worry. We're not designed to stress. The more I think about it, this is something I want to deal with on a Sunday. The more I think about it, stress and worry is not a designed aspect of the human body. We know that it is an aspect of disease. It is an aspect of us going our own way. And we only get to stress and worry when we are fighting to do it our way. instead of allowing God to take his hand and trusting God and having full faith. So Jesus is big time warning us here, right before the end comes. Don't get weighted down with the worries of life, because that is all you. It's sin. It's separation from God. Pray that you have the strength to escape all of it, all of that temptation, the temptation to think you're in charge, the temptation to stress about whether you'll be clothed or whether you'll be fed or whether there'll be a roof over your head. All of that is pulling you away from God, and heaven forbid it is what you are focusing on in the day that he returns in the clouds in God's glory, and you're so busy being worried over the minutia of the day that God already preordained and took care of a long time ago, that you don't see it. Be a Mary. Sit. Wait for God. Let God. Ask God for help. Seek his face and seek a personal relationship with him. That's what we should be praying. Pray that you do not get bogged down and trapped in the temptations that pull your attention. I pray for you today that this is resonating with you, that you are thinking about all the things that are pulling you away from this relationship, this seeking his face, seeking what he wants you to do, and knowing that he already has it under control. So stress isn't of it. Fear isn't of God. Stress isn't of God. Worry isn't of God. Anytime we claim that, we are walking away from him, and it could be, we don't know when that moment is. It could be the worst moment of all time to be focused on those things. So don't risk it. I'll see you here on another day. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with a friend. And I'm always interested in hearing what God is laying on your heart. So drop me a rating or review, or join the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Dawn Combs Really.